Welcome to the second day of the diving meet at the St. John Aquatic Center. Today we're going to have the Women's Open 1 meter as well as the Men's Open on the 3 meter. It should be a good competition today, Stephanie.
Yeah, it should be. We've got a lot of good divers here. Some clubs from Pointe Claire, Montreal, and St. John's, Newfoundland, as well as Halifax and this city, St. John.
Excellent. That sounds like a real good lineup. You'll have a number of the divers who dove from yesterday continuing but diving on their opposite boards. We just had Jennifer Hudson dove. Next, Andrea Coburn from Pointe Claire.
And she just did a front double somersault in the tuck position.
Scoring 5.5 for that dive. Next diver, Alana Kunde from Pointe Claire.
She's doing a front double somersault in the pike position. A little bit far out, but it was a pretty good dive.
5s, 5.5s across the board. Next we have Pam Ennis from Newfoundland.
And Pam's going to be doing an inward dive in the pike position. The DD of 1.5. Pam was the senior national
Gold medalist for 1989, yeah. Been diving very well.
And that was a really nice dive. Beautiful. Nice entry, no splash.
Next we have Lindsay Black. She's diving for the St. John Fundy Diving Club.
401B, inward dive height, 1.5.
And that was a really nice dive as well. A little bit backed off. It could have been in a bit closer to the board. She got good scores for that dive.
Scoring 7, 6.5. Next, Catherine O'Rourke from Pointe Claire.
She's doing a front double somersault in the tuck position. And that was really nice. Beautiful dive.
5.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6, 6.5.
5.5s to 6.5. Her scores.
101B,
This is Julie Hodder from Newfoundland. Julie has been fighting off the flu all morning. Hopefully she'll be able to put it together here today.
And there's a little break in her pike position there, so they'll have to deduct some points from their scores for that.
2.5 to 4.5 for her scores. Next, Jennifer White from Newfoundland as well.
1.5
Jennifer has only been diving for a year and a half. This is her first open.
And that was a bit low. She could have got up a little bit higher so that she could have finished in the water in a vertical position.
Next, Amy Miller from Halifax, Cygnus.
She's also doing it front 1.5 in the tuck position.
Don't adjust your set. Those wavy lines are on her bathing suit.
Oh, and that was pretty good. Kicked out a little bit too early, so she was a bit short. But other than that, it was good dive.
And that ends the women's 1 meter. We now go to the men's open 3 meter. James Bartlett is going to be diving first from Cygnus.
103B from 101 somersault height, 1.6.
James is 15 years old. He's been diving for 5 to 6 years. He's been having a good meet and has been really concentrating on the tower for age group nationals.
And that was a pretty good dive. He took it up, was a little bit out too far, but it was nice. And you got 5 across the board for that dive.
Unattached, 103B.
Next, Dale McLean from Moncton.
Height, D, 1.6.
He's doing a front 1 1/2 pike position. That was a nice dive.
Very
a little bit
smooth.
short, yeah, very smooth.
6.5 across.
He scored 6.5 for that dive.
Starting
Now we start again with the women, Jennifer Hudson, St. John Fundy.
So there's only 2 men diving in the 3-meter open today.
Yes, we had a couple of scratches. Actually, we mentioned a nice dive by Jennifer.
4 1/2, 5, 6, 5, 5.
4.5 to 6s. We mentioned yesterday Julie Kelson scratched as well. She hurt her neck after 2 or 3 dives and had to withdraw. She won't be diving again today. Next we have Andrea Coburn from Point Claire.
And it was a back dive layout and really nice dive.
Scores 6, 6.5, 7, 6, 6.
She got some good scores on that too, between 6 and 7.
Next, Alana Cundy, again from Point Claire.
1A, back dive layout, D, 1.7.
And she's also doing a back dive layout. Oh, and that was a nice one too. Very smooth, and the judges really looked for that entry with no splash.
And again, Stephanie, we're going through the compulsory dives.
Yes.
And how many are there in the women's?
There's 5 compulsory dives, and then there's 5 optional.
Yeah. Pam Ennis from Newfoundland.
Reverse dive in the layout position and a nice entry, nice height and nice entry.
7, 7 1/2.
Scoring 7s for that dive.
Lindsay, 5, 1, 1, 1A.
Next, Lindsay Black, St. John Fundy Diving Club.
1.8.
That was a front dive layout half twist. That was a really nice dive. Good entry.
6 1/2, 6, 7, 6, 6.
Scoring 6.5 to 7 for that dive. Catherine O'Rourke from Point Claire. Catherine's 12 years old. She's been diving for 3 years. She competed at Nationals last year. She's a strong diver and has a bright future.
And she just did a really nice back dive in the layout position.
6 1/2, 6, 5 1/2. Julie, 201B, back dive.
Next, Julie Hodder from Newfoundland.
She's doing a back dive in the pike position.
Julie's 14 years old. She's been diving for about 1.5 years. This is her first competition in the Open as well.
That was a nice dive. A little bit backed off from the board, but it was a nice entry and she was tight through the whole dive.
Jennifer, 201A.
Next, Jennifer White, again from Newfoundland.
And she'll be doing a back dive as well, but in a straight or layout position.
From our view, you could see her legs were a little bit apart. Would that affect the scoring, Stephanie?
It's hard to tell if the judges could see it from the angle where they're sitting. They may have seen a little bit, but probably not as pronounced as we've seen from the angle we were looking at it.
Next we have Amy Miller from Halifax.
And the back dive tucked, and that was a nice dive. Her legs came apart a little bit on the entry, but it was a nice high dive. Really good top on it.
5 1/2,
Scoring 5s and a halves to 6 on that dive. Now we go to the men's 3 meter, James Bartlett. And he's from Halifax Cygnus.
Back dive layout, nice dive, really high.
Judges scores.
He got good height on his first dive as well.
Yes, he did. He's really pressing the board down. And the farther you can press the board down, the higher you're going to get.
And Dale McLean, he's living in Moncton now. Dale has had quite a history in diving. He's been the national coach from 1979 to 1985. And in his own right was very competitive in diving. He was the 10-meter national age group and senior champion, and has been at various times the New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Atlantic champion on 1, 3, and 10-meter boards. As well, he's in 1980 was the 3-meter Ontario champion. So he has had quite a varied experience of diving.
Yes, he's been diving for a long time. It's good to have that kind of involvement.
He dives recreationally now, and it's amazing he stays in good condition enough to do these difficult dives.
Yes, it is. He's going to be doing a back dive pike. That was a really nice dive.
Judges scores. 7 1/2, 6. 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 7.
Actually, the dive looked better than 6 to 7s. What do you think the judges took points off from him, Stephanie?
I think from the angle they were sitting at, he may have been a little bit short in his entry.
Judges scores.
And that was Jennifer Hudson, and she just did a reverse dive pike, and it was quite a bit too far out. She has to use her energy to go up instead of out somewhere.
301E, reverse dive pike, 1.7.
Now we have Andrea Coburn from Point Claire.
And Andrea's going to be doing a reverse dive pike as well. Ooh, nice dive. A little bit long on the entry. She held her legs up a little bit too long.
5
Andrea has been diving for 5 years. She's just turned 13. She's been competing at age group nationals, finishing in the top 6. A very steady diver.
301E, reverse dive pike.
Next, Alana Cundy from Point Claire.
And she's going to be doing a reverse dive as well in the pike position. Oh, and that was a nice dive.
Yes.
The only thing that the judges may have taken some points off for is she touched her knees instead of her toes.
6 5 5.
5 to 6s on the scoring.
201A.
Pam Innes from Newfoundland.
1.7.
And Pam's going to be doing a back dive layout. Another term for layout would be the straight position.
Pam really concentrates when she's on the board.
Yeah, she stands there quite a lot longer than the other divers do. And that's a really nice dive.
Judges scores. 7 7
Are there restrictions on the time that you're allowed to remain on the board while thinking about your dive?
I think it's between I think it's around 5 seconds that you're allowed to take. 5 to 10 seconds.
Next we have Lindsay Black, St. John Fundy Diving Club.
The front 1.5 in the pike position.
Just a little long.
Yeah, a little bit long, but nice dive.
Scoring 6s to 6.5. Catherine O'Rourke, sorry.
Lindsay didn't dive yesterday because she wasn't feeling well, so today she's just trying it out. We're not quite sure how she's feeling better, is she?
Yes, she is. I think I spoke to her earlier on before the competition. I think she's feeling much better.
Oh, that's good. And that was a nice dive.
Catherine O'Rourke from Port Clare.
4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Julie, 301B, reverse dive pike, 1.7.
Julie Hodder, and I think she has the same flu that was going around yesterday that affected Lindsay.
That was a nice dive. A little bit long.
She's giving it a good effort.
Very, very much so.
4 1/2, 5, 5, 5 1/2, 4.
4.5s to 5s. Next, Jennifer White, again from Newfoundland.
301B, reverse dive pike, 1.7.
That was a nice dive. She looked like she could have jumped a little bit stronger, but it was nice.
4 1/2, 2 1/2.
Yeah, a lot of the dryland training concentrates on developing leg strength, doesn't it? To
That's
get
right.
that power off the board.
That's right.
Reverse dive pike, 1.6.
Amy Miller from Halifax Cygnus.
She was doing a reverse dive in the tuck position, but she didn't quite get high enough in order to get around all the way.
3 1/2, 2.
Scoring 3s and 3.5s. She won't be happy with that.
James.
Next we have James Bartlett from Halifax, diving 3 meter.
Ooh, and he wasn't supposed to do that.
How many points will he lose off his scoring for it?
Each judge will deduct 2 points from their score. It's too bad.
Judges scores.
But it happens. Sometimes you just don't get your right takeoff.
3.
You should keep going anyway, but sometimes you feel like you shouldn't, so you stop. The coaches are mostly disappointed when that happens.
Yes. Next we have Dale McLean. He's diving out of Moncton.
Dale, 301B, reverse dive.
He's doing a reverse dive in the pike position. And that was a really nice dive.
Very nice.
Nice top.
6 1/2 across.
6.5 across the board.
Really
Stephanie.
good scores.
401B, inward dive pike.
Jennifer Hudson, St. John Fundy Diving Club.
She's doing an inward dive in the pike position. That's a nice dive.
Judges scores. 5, 5 1/2, 5 across.
5s to 5.5s on the scoring.
She may have been a little bit too far from the board, and that's why she didn't get the scores that.
Andrea Coburn, Point Clare. I was talking to Alison Trainer before the meet began, and she was saying that she's looking at this as a tune-up meet for her divers, a reward for hard work during the year.
Judges scores.
It was a really nice dive.
7, 7, 7.
She got good scores too.
6 1/2, 6. Alana.
Alana Cundy, Point Clare as well.
1.5.
Alana's been diving for a year and a half. She's 13 years old. She hasn't been around all that long, but her coach thinks that she's a real up-and-comer. Got a very bright future in diving.
It's a really nice inward dive pike.
Judges scores 6 1/2, 6 1/2, 7, 6 1/2. Pam.
Next we have Pam Ennis from Newfoundland.
Front 1 1/2 somersault with 1 twist free, 2.2.
Full twisting 1.5 somersaults. Really nice dive.
And again, the degree of difficulty will be quite high on that dive.
Yes, it will, because of the number of twists and somersaults that she did. The more twisting that you do, the more somersaults, the higher the degree of difficulty, as well as the height of the board has a lot to do with that as well.
Yes.
The higher you go.
Next we have Lindsay Black, St. John Fundy Diving Club.
Her back dive pike. A little bit too far out, but that shouldn't get too many points deducted for that.
5 1/2, 5 1/2.
5.5 to 6.5. Catherine O'Rourke from Point Claire.
Inward dive pike, 1.5.
Are there any restrictions on the bathing suit, Stephanie?
There doesn't seem to be lately. Usually you like to have something that's all one color, but lately we've seen them, they're getting a lot more colorful. They're nice though.
That was a good dive by Catherine, scoring 7s for a very clean rip in the water. Julie Hodder from Newfoundland.
That was a really nice dive. As I mentioned yesterday, the compulsories of both the men and the women diving today seem to be really steady and really good dives.
Yes. It's the basics, isn't it, that they concentrate on with those
Definitely.
first dives.
Having a good jump.
Yeah. Julie White from Newfoundland.
Pretty good dive.
Didn't get a lot of height though off the board.
4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 1/2, 4.
Next we have Amy Miller from Halifax. Stephanie, the divers, as they prepare for a meet, do they concentrate on their compulsories as much as the new dives that they're developing for a particular meet?
Definitely. They have to keep them steady, because if they're consistent on their compulsories, then they gain more points if they happen to make a mistake on the harder dives. That was pretty good. A little bit long on the entry. You have to make sure your head is looking at your hands when you enter the water, and hers was looking up the wall behind her, so that might have been the reason why she went a little long.
Now we start the men's 3-meter with James Bartlett.
1.9.
He's doing a dive in the tuck position.
Inward 1.5, and a rip entry.
Nice dive.
Very nice.
6 1/2, 6 1/2, 5, 6 1/2, 6.
Basically scoring 6 to 6.5.
403B.
Bill McLean.
And he's doing an inward 1.5 in the pike position.
So his legs will not be bent up into his body, they'll be straight out.
That's right. But close to his chest.
Yes.
It's a nice top, but his legs split a little up for the entry.
6 across.
Scoring sixes.
Jennifer.
Now we start
5,
the 1 meter, Jennifer
front
Hudson.
dive layout, the half twist, 1.8.
She's going to be doing a front dive layout or straight with a half twist. Nice entry. I don't think she quite got the half twist though.
Judges scores 4.5, 5.5 across.
Not quite. Scoring 4.5, 5.5. Andrea Coburn from Point Claire.
Front somersault with 1 twist 3, 1.9.
She's doing a front somersault in the free position with full twist. And that was a nice dive. Her hand should have been down by her side when she entered the water.
And if they go over her head, it's a scratch dive, isn't it?
They can only give her a score of 4.5 maximum if she doesn't have her hands beside her when she enters the water.
Alana Cundy, Point Claire.
And that's a full twisting 1.5 somersaults. So she does 1.5 somersaults, lands on her head, but before she goes in, she does 1 full twist. It's a difficult dive to do on a 1 meter board.
Yes, there isn't much time to get all that movement in.
No.
Next we have Pam Innes from Newfoundland. Pam was a senior national gold medalist in 1989, and she's been on the European touring team and our national team. While she was attending Memorial, she won the University Cup. And just after this meet, she's leaving and going to senior nationals in Montreal.
Ooh, and that was a nice front double somersault, tight position.
Was a good dive. She's been fighting off the flu as well during this meet.
A lot of sick athletes here this weekend.
How have you been feeling, Stephanie?
Pretty good.
Oh, excellent. Me as well.
Good.
Next we have Lindsay Black, St. John Funday Diving Club.
Lindsay seems to concentrate a lot too before she does her dive.
She's wearing a retainer in her mouth.
And that's a beautiful dive. Really nice. Why does she wear a retainer?
Well, I think it helps her relax a little bit. When she's in a meet, she likes to have that to chomp on.
Really?
Next we have Catherine O'Rourke from Point Claire.
Front dive layout, half twist. That was a nice dive.
And again, we're still in the compulsories, are we, Stephanie, with that dive?
Yeah, but the girls seem to be mixing up their dives a little bit more than they did yesterday, throwing in a few of their options. Some of them may have some front 2.5 tacks that they're doing, so they're doing a front double for their compulsory.
Julie Hodder from Newfoundland.
Judges scores.
That was a pretty good dive, but she has to get her feet up a little bit quicker so she doesn't land short.
Jennifer White from Newfoundland.
She's doing a front dive layout with a half twist as well. A little bit late on the twist, so it didn't flow very smoothly.
4.5. Sorry, the first score is 4, 5, 4, cross. 80.
Amy Miller from Halifax Cygnus.
And she's also doing a front dive layout with a half twist.
Would there be any planning of the divers to do the same dives as others, or do they basically do it on their own?
They basically do it on their own. There's just the normal order that they would do it in without any changes. Usually front, back, reverse, inward, and then your twisting dive. So a lot of people just follow that order.
Next, James Bartlett, Halifax Cygnus, off the 3 meter.
Ooh, and that was a nice dive.
He finished his twisting in good shape.
That's right.
Lots of time to enter the water and get straightened up.
And he hit one twist right on. He didn't go over or under twist.
Dale McLean.
Front, 1.5 somersault with 1 twist free, 2.1.
And he's also doing the same dive. Front 1 1/2 with 1 twist. And that was nice, but a little short on the entry.
Yes.
You want to try and get in a vertical position as much as you can, straight up and down.
5.5 to 6 he scored, Stephanie. Next we have Jennifer Hudson, St. John Fundy Diving Club.
The front double somersault tuck. Really fast spin, but she didn't quite go up high enough. She went out too far.
5 1/2.
Andrea Coburn, Point Claire.
And she's doing a front 2 1/2 somersaults in the tuck position.
And again, Andrea has the tape on her wrist.
Ooh, I don't know if her feet and head hit at the same time or not. She must have got her head in first because the judges are going to score the dive.
1 1/2, 3.
Just barely, scoring 1.5 to 3 for her dive.
Front, 2 1/2 somersault.
Alana Cundy, Point Claire.
Also a front 2 1/2, a little bit better.
Scores. 4 1/2, 3
Dive was off a little bit to the side of the board.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the judges would see that or not.
105C, front 2 1/2 somersault tuck.
Pam Innes.
2.4.
With another front 2 1/2 tuck. It was a nice dive.
Did you ever compete against Pam Innes when you were active in diving, Stephanie?
A few times, not very often, but a few times I have.
First 1 1/2 somersault tuck.
Lindsay Black, St. John Fundy.
2.1.
As you said earlier, she really concentrates on her dive before beginning her hurdle.
She must be going over the dive in her head before she does it. Oh, that was a pretty good dive. Reverse 1 1/2 tuck.
5 1/2.
She should be happy with that.
6, 6.
5.5 to 6.
105C.
Catherine O'Rourke, Point Claire.
2.4.
And she's doing a front 2 1/2 somersaults tuck, and that was pretty good. A little short again, but it's hard to make it around that many times when you're only on 1 meter board.
She was very square to the board throughout her dive.
Four one half,
4.5 to 5s. Julie Hodder from Newfoundland.
1/2 somersault plank, 1.7.
Her coach was saying she had a temperature of about 101 degrees when the competition started this morning.
Really?
Surprised we don't see steam when she hits the water.
Yeah, really. She's doing really well for being sick.
Yes.
It's a nice dive.
She wanted to do it, so he said go ahead. Jennifer White again from Newfoundland.
I suppose you come all the way from Newfoundland, you want to try and get as much in as you can.
Exactly. I think she's got that competitive spirit.
It's good. Ooh. Didn't see the kick out on that dive. She made it around though.
That's right.
3 1/2, 4.
Scoring 3.5s and 4s for the cannonball.
Good effort.
Amy Miller from Halifax, Cygnus Diving Club.
Amy, 104C, front double somersault.
She's also doing a front double somersault in the tuck position. She
Again,
made it around too,
but really didn't ride the board. There wasn't really any power as she left the end of the board.
no, they really have to press the board down in order to get any height.
I think that hurt.
I think so.
James Bartlett, Halifax Cygnus, diving off the 3-meter.
A little bit slow on the rotation in that dive.
A little short.
Yep.
4.5.
Really got to get those dives spinning in order to make it around.
Yes, he had lots of height and lots of power. He just didn't get his spinning.
Sometimes when you go up really high, you get stuck and you can't start the spin. And that's probably what happened. He had a lot of height.
Dale McLean from Moncton.
2.8.
Did you catch the dive, Stephanie?
No,
A
I
degree of
didn't.
difficulty 2.8.
Yeah, it must be quite hard. Back 2.5 tuck. It is a difficult dive to do.
And he was a bit short.
Yeah. He didn't quite get the spin he needed either.
Judges scores. 4, 4, 3.5, 3.5, 4.
3.5s to 4 were the scoring. Jennifer Hudson, St. John Fundy, starting the next round on the ladies' 1-meter board.
Could the judges please repeat the scores for James?
Now this is unusual. We've been asked to have the judges repeat the scores for James Bartlett, which was one diver before Dale McLean, Stephanie. Is that unusual?
Yes, it is. It's not usual at all. They should have asked immediately after James had dove because it's difficult for the judges to remember what they scored now, anywhere except after the last diver. So they'll probably be doing a little bit of guessing.
Yeah, they were about 3.5 to 4.5, as I recall. It'll be interesting to see the range.
Yeah.
How does this affect the next diver, Jennifer Hudson, these delays? Is that something when you were competing that would put you off a bit?
Yeah, it would put, sometimes it helps because you get a little bit of a chance to think about what you're doing, but usually when you get up on the board, you just want to get it over with and go, and you don't want any delays at all. So, but it affects divers differently.
Jennifer, 203C, back 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.0.
She's doing a back 1 1/2 somersaults in the tuck position. It's pretty good. She's been practicing this dive a lot, but she hasn't been doing it very long, so that was pretty good. She's just a little bit short on the entry.
She'll be happy with that in competition.
Yeah, I think so.
Andrea Coburn, Point Claire.
Back 1.5 somersault tuck.
She's also doing the same dive, a back 1 1/2 somersaults in the tuck position.
Are there different techniques for positioning your feet on these back dives, or is it pretty traditional how
It's
they
pretty
do it?
traditional. Some divers like to keep their feet a little bit spread, a little bit apart on the board, while others keep them totally together. That was a nice dive.
Judges scores. 5 was the first score. 6, 5, 6, 5.
5s and 6s for the dive.
Alana.
Alana Cundy from Point Claire as well.
Back 1 1/2 somersault pike.
And she's doing the same dive, but in the pike position, so her legs will be straight. A little bit low,
Judges scores.
but Other than that, it was a pretty good dive. A little bit out too far.
5, 4,
What's more difficult, Stephanie, the pike or the tuck position in these dives?
Well, personally, I think the pike is more difficult because it's a lot harder to get around because you're not in such a small ball like in the tuck position. But some people like doing the pike better because it's easier to come out and easier to get a straight entry.
Okay, Pam Innes from Newfoundland.
A nice dive.
Very nice.
It was an inward 1.5 pike.
And that's just about where you want to be in relation to the board.
Exactly. It wasn't too close and it wasn't backed off at all.
7.5.
Lindsay Black, St. John Fundy.
2-3C, back 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.0.
She's doing it back 1.5 somersaults tuck.
Degree of difficulty 2.0. Nope,
She had a good
short
jump.
on that one.
A good jump, but she didn't get the rotation that she needed.
3.5, 4, 4, 3.5, 4.
You have to really get your arms and knees up quick in order to get your body starting to turn.
2.2.
Catherine O'Rourke from Pointe Claire.
Oh, that's a nice inward dive, inward 1.5 tuck.
6, 6.
Good strong rotation.
6, 6.
Scoring sixes.
The fourth
Julie
score.
Hodder, Newfoundland.
Julie. 203C, back 1.5 somersault tuck, DD 2.0.
And she's also doing a back 1.5 somersaults in the tuck position. Nice top. Again, you have to start your rotation a little sooner, a little quicker. And she landed a little bit short because she wasn't going fast enough.
3 to 4s.
Jennifer, 203C, back
Jennifer White from Newfoundland. Excuse me, Stephanie.
All right, they just seem to be having a difficult time with their back option, their back 1.5s. All of the girls. That was nice.
That was better, yeah.
A lot better.
4, 5, 4.5, 4, 4.
Next, Amy Miller, Halifax Cygnus.
202C, back somersault tuck, 1.5.
She's only doing 1 somersault. She's not putting 1.5 on it.
So degree of difficulty 1.5. So she's going to have to score higher than the other girls in order to stay in the same range of scoring.
Exactly. That was pretty good. She just sat a little bit on her entry.
4, 4, 3.5, 5, 4.
Next, we go to James Bartlett, 3 meter.
Reverse 1.5 somersault pike, 2.3.
That was a pretty nice dive.
Yes, it was.
Scores
Still a little bit short.
5, 4.5, 4.5, 4.5.
Wasn't as smooth as it could have been.
4.5s to 5s was the scoring for that dive. Dale McLean.
2.4.
And he's doing a front 2.5 somersaults in the pike position. That was a nice dive.
Judges scores
Dale's been very consistent throughout the meet. I think he's only really come short on one dive.
Yeah, his back option dive.
403C, inwards 1 1/2.
Jennifer Hudson, St. John Fundy.
2.2.
That was her inward 1.5 tuck.
Judges score.
A little bit short on the entry, but other than that, it was a nice dive. Jennifer's come a long way since last year.
Yes, she's diving a lot better. Seems to be much stronger this year.
2.1.
Takes a little bit to get over the fear of diving too, though.
Andrea Coburn from Point Claire.
Reverse 1.5, really nice dive. A little bit arched on the entry, so there was a bit more splash than it could have been, but it was nice.
6. 5 1/2. 5 1/2.
Alana Cundy from Point Claire.
Alana, 303C, reverse 1 1/2, somersault top, 2.1.
Just doing a reverse. Reverse 1.5 tuck. It was also a good dive, really nice.
Judges scores 5 1/2, 5, 6, 6, 4 1/2.
5 to 6s be the range of the judges scoring that counts. Pam Ennis from Newfoundland.
Somersault height, 2.4.
Yeah, the judges will deduct they will not include the lowest score or the highest score, and they will add up the 3 scores in between and then multiply those by the degree of difficulty of each dive, and that's how they come up with the total points for the dive. And that was a reverse 1.5 in a pike position. That's a lot more difficult.
Yes, and I understand they now have computers that take in the scoring and can very quickly give the results of a meet.
That's right.
Lindsay Black, St. John Fundy.
That was her front double in the pike position.
4 1/2, 5 1/2, 4, 5, 5.
Scoring 4.5s to 5.5s.
Catherine, 203C, back 1 1/2.
Catherine O'Rourke from Point Claire.
2.0.
Should be diving the tuck position, degree of difficulty 2.0.
Really nice top. Really high. She really jumped and went for it. Just a little bit long in the
5
entry.
1/2, 6, 5, 6, 4 1/2.
Julie Hodder from Newfoundland.
303C, reverse.
During the spin, Stephanie, are there any techniques for getting to see the water earlier than perhaps you otherwise would while diving?
You try and keep your eyes on the water at all times, actually, when you're diving. There's times that you can't see it just for a minute, but that's what you try and aim for. To just keep your eyes on the water so you know where it is at all times. It's a hard technique to learn, but once you get it down, you usually don't forget.
Yes.
3, 3, 2 1/2, 2, 3.
Jennifer White from Newfoundland as well.
1 1/2 somersault tuck, 2.1.
Julie might be feeling a bit of that flu. The last couple of dives, she hasn't had as much strength as she had earlier on.
No, she hasn't. She's doing a reverse 1.5 tuck. Ooh. She made it around, but the entry was not very good, so the judges probably won't have very high scores for
3,
her.
4, 2, 3, 3.
Averaging around 3. Amy Miller, Halifax Cygnus.
1.6.
the one somersault again, reverse somersault tuck. She did it pretty good though.
Ended up a little further out from the board than you'd like, a little more height as opposed to the distance away from the board.
That's right, and that's probably why she hasn't done the reverse 1.5 yet. She doesn't have the height to get around.
James Bartlett on the 3 meter, Halifax Cygnus Diving Club.
James is diving really well today.
Yes, he's been very consistent. Didn't quite get his legs up that time though.
No. It's a strong kick out. If he'd have straightened his legs on the entry, he would have looked a lot nicer, but I don't think he quite knew where he was.
Dale McLean from Moncton.
2.8.
He's doing a reverse 2.5 somersaults in tuck position. It's a very difficult dive. Oh, but he did it really nice. There was a lot of splash, but it was nice.
5-4-5 across.
Scoring 4s and 5s across the board. Jennifer Hudson, 1 meter.
Back somersault with 1 twist free, 1.9.
She's doing a front somersault with 1 twist. Ooh, she over twisted a little bit on the entry.
Do you think it'll count?
Yeah, they definitely saw that, so they'll deduct a few points from their scores.
3, 2, 3.
Yes.
2, 3.
2s and 3s. Jennifer won't be happy with that.
Andrea
Coburn from Point Claire.
1.5 somersault tuck, 2.2.
She's doing an inward 1.5 somersaults in the tuck position. Nice. Just long on the entry.
4. Sorry, the first score is 5. 4.5, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5.
Alana Kunde from Point Claire.
403C, inward 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.2.
And she's doing an inward 1.5 somersaults tuck.
Roughest meet I've been through in a long time.
Judge scores.
And she was also a little bit short. She could have jumped. She could have pressed the board down and got a lot more height.
5.5, 4. Pam.
Scoring 5s, 4.5s to 5.5. Pam Innes from Newfoundland.
2.4.
She's doing a back 1.5 somersaults in the pike position.
Good shot of the concentration.
She doesn't usually dive springboard. She's specializing on the 10-meter tower now. And she's doing really well today on 1 meter.
There's a major difference in the tower diving and the springboard, isn't there?
Definitely. Especially when you get up to 10 meters.
Yes.
That's a long way up.
Lindsay Black, St. John Funday. The Aquatic Center has purchased a couple of what are known as cheese boards. Stephanie, can you tell us a little bit about those?
They're just a better quality board, and they have, what you can identify them from is they have holes in the ends of the board, and they just give the divers more height. They help to, you can press the board down farther and therefore get higher. That was a nice dive by Lindsay. She got good scores, 7 on it.
6 to 7, yep. Catherine O'Rourke, Point Claire. The divers are able to ride the board a little longer and get more spring out of them, aren't they?
That's
with
right.
The cheese boards.
That's right. It was a nice reverse 1.5. Oh, another reason they purchased the cheese boards, I believe, is that when they go away to meets, a lot of the pools that they dive in have these cheese boards, and there's so much difference between the regular boards and the cheese boards that it's harder to get used to them when you go away to meets. So.
You've almost got to learn your dives all over again.
That's right.
Julie Hodder from Newfoundland.
Nice inward somersault.
Yes, it was. Not a high degree of difficulty, though, Stephanie. Probably if she was feeling a little better, she'd be doing a more difficult range of dives.
That's right.
Jennifer White from Newfoundland.
Judges' scores.
And that was also an inward somersault.
402. 4 1/2, 4, 3 1/2.
Jennifer's been scored 3.5s to 4s for that dive. Amy Miller from Halifax Cygnus.
1.6.
And she's also doing. This is the last dive. That was a nice inward somersault top.
Yes, it was. And we'll be going for a break now, Stephanie, and we'll be right back to finish off the men's open. Welcome back. We've just had James Bartlett complete his dive to begin the men's 3-meter after the break, and now we have Dale McLean from Moncton.
2 1/2 somersault top, 2.7.
Inward 2.5 in the tuck position. It was a little bit short. Could have got a bit more rotation on his spin.
4 1/2, 3 1/2, 4.
Do you think the judges judge a diver like Dale McLean tougher than some of the newer divers coming along, Stephanie?
I'm pretty sure they try not to, but it's hard because his caliber of diving is quite high compared to some of these divers now.
Yes. Okay, Jennifer Hudson, St. John Funday.
Ooh. Now that was way out.
Yes.
The judge will definitely take that into consideration. She's got to learn to jump up and use the board to push up instead of out so far.
Yes. This is something that her coach will be working on correcting over the next period of time.
Definitely.
Yeah. Next, Andrea Coburn from Point Claire.
214. Front somersault, 2 twist 3, 2.3.
It was a forward somersault, 3 position with 2 twists. You really have to keep your eyes open when you do that dive.
4 1/2, 4 across. Alana.
Scoring 4s across the board. Alana Cundy from Point Claire.
2.3.
A little more difficult dive, Stephanie.
Yes. Another double twister. And little bit out of control on that dive.
Again, the divers are able to practice these dives on the trampoline. They have a special belt system that allows them to twist in the air.
That's right, and it does help a lot. It's reassuring when you know that you're not going to smack the water when you go in, because it does hurt quite a bit. So if you can practice it on land without hurting yourself, it's a real benefit.
Pam Innes from Newfoundland.
Nice back twister. Back.
Wasn't quite parallel when she
That's right.
stood up and down when she entered the water.
That's right. The degree of difficulty should help her score out quite a bit, though, in that dive.
Lindsay Black, St. John Fundy. Now again, the announcer announced the wrong dive. That must put you off a bit.
Definitely.
When you're
Especially if you've never done it before. She's doing a front somersault free position with one twist.
And these divers would prepare their own lists, as you mentioned earlier, and
Yep.
submit them. So
With a little help from their coaches.
yeah.
That was nice, but not quite square when she went in the water. Not quite right on one twist.
4, 4, 5, 5. Catherine.
4s and 5s were the judges' scores. Catherine O'Rourke from St. Point Clair.
1.9.
Doing the same dive. It was nice. Her hand should have been down by her side when she entered the water, however.
Not quite as tight as she would have liked.
No.
4, 3 1/2, 3 1/2.
3.5s to 4s. Next, Julie Hodder from Newfoundland.
Front somersault with one twist free, 1.9.
I think this is one of the initial times that Julie's tried this dive.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was pretty good, though.
Very good. It's very good.
Really good.
4, 3 1/2, 3, 5, 5.
3s to 5s.
Jennifer, 5 left.
Jennifer White, Newfoundland.
Front somersault with a half twist, height, 1.8.
She's doing a half a twist instead of a full twist. I think she made it around with her hands up above her head, so the judges can only give her a maximum of 4.5. I think they're trying to determine whether she completed the half twist or not.
And how will the judges establish that if there's a dispute amongst them?
Well, they have a referee, one referee between the 5 judges who makes the final decision. And they did decide to score the dive.
Amy Miller, Halifax Cygnus.
Front somersault with one twist free, 1.9.
She twisted a little too late. She should start twisting sooner in her somersault.
Judges scores.
But she did make it around, I believe.
The judges are still talking about this one. They've yet to decide whether it will count as a dive. And that was the end of the women's open on the 1 meter board. They've completed 10 dives.
And they did rule that that was an incomplete dive. She didn't make it around the one twist.
James, 205C, back.
Now James Bartlett from Halifax Cygnus on his 10th dive. And the men again will be doing 11 dives. my goodness. That was very short, and that is not going to make James very happy.
Incomplete dive.
And he'll receive no points for that. That was an incomplete dive.
Back 1.5 somersault with 1.5 twist free, 2.4.
Next, Dale McLean from Moncton.
And he's doing a back twisting dive. And that was nice.
Very nicely done.
Really nice entry.
6 1/2, 6, 6, 6, 6 1/2.
Next diver is James Bartlett. I think he's taking a moment to catch his breath after that previous dive. He really landed flat out on his back. He's smiling a bit about it now, but
This is his final dive, so once he's done this, it'll be all over. It's a big relief, really, when you're finally finished.
James Bartlett, 5, 2, 3, 3D, back 1.5 somersault with 1.5 twist free, 2.4.
And he's also going to be doing a back 1.5 somersaults with 1.5 twists.
he went back to adjust the fulcrum on the board. I think he felt it was out just a titch last time.
Well, that was pretty good.
That was better.
I don't think he's done this dive. I think it's a new dive for him. So it was pretty good.
4 1/2, 4 1/2, 3 1/2, 3 1/2.
3.5s to 4s are his scores. Now Dale McLean, the last diver, doing his last dive.
And he's going to be doing a reverse twisting dive. A reverse 1.5 somersaults with 1.5 twists. I think he's the only person in New Brunswick who does this dive. Really nice.
Nicely done.
Straight up and down, no splash, rip entry.
A real good finish to the diving meet. We've seen some good diving today, Stephanie.
Yeah, very good, especially for the province of New Brunswick. To have these divers here to compete with and to better our St. John divers.
Exactly. And to show off our aquatic center.
That's right.
Certainly is second to none anywhere in Atlantic Canada.
Yeah, it's great to have this facility.
And the gold medalist, with a total of 409.30 from Newfoundland, Pam Ennis.
Stephanie, it's been a good meet. I think we've had some good competition, and you have the results of the 1 and 3 meter women's.
Yes, I do. Today the women dove 1 meter open, and the gold medalist was Pam Ennis from Newfoundland, and Lindsay Black was the silver medalist from St. John. And yesterday when they dove women's 3 meter, Pam Ennis was also the gold medalist, and her teammate Andrea Coburn from Newfoundland was the silver medalist.
And they all dove well, and I think some excellent results. I have the winners of the men's 1 and 3 meter. On the men's 1 meter, it was Dale McLean, and finishing second was Peter McDonald. On the 3 meter board, again, we had Dale McLean, and James Bartlett finished second.
It's been overall a really good meet, and I thank everybody for watching and following the diving competition here at the Canada Games Aquatic Center.
Yes, it has, and we want to remind you that there's lots of opportunity for everybody to get involved at the Aquatic Center. Thank you very much.